Well done, sir.
مربع مثلث.
The problem is you don't know how to use that shit. That's the issue. That's the real issue here.
Says you.
I'm just saying
I'm
that big head.
going to start the podcast from right here.
Okay, just saying, that big head does not help with
And I just want to say, just
thinking.
in case, pause at the same time.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Both of you.
Letting you know. تمسكوا يا عيال.
تمسكوا يا عيال.
So yeah.
No, we're not going to make fun of big head. Number one's big head.
Yeah, not anymore.
No, it's Ramadan.
We have empathy now.
عشر الأواخر. We want good deeds.
Yes, indeed.
We don't want to keep, giving him out good deeds.
Exactly.
We got to be selfish with it for a minute.
Let's keep some of ourselves here.
So
this head isn't big because of brain matter. مليان حسنات.
see, now I'm about to switch it up real quick.
Now you're forcing it, Yeah.
This is how I get more حسنات. Infinite حسنات glitch.
So you just walk up to people and say, "Hey, look at this."
Make fun of me. Make fun of me.
I'm like, hey,
Yeah, I don't think you can actually do that, Gravity won't allow it.
Gravity. He is gravity. What are you talking about?
Yes, we did.
Hey, welcome back to Kabsa. It's your boy Adam. What's happening? What's popping? Episode 294. We ain't got no topics. Got the homie Champs right next to me.
Yo.
I got number one in the building.
Hello.
Turks is not here. Turks came in walking in wearing a light pink thobe. And we were like, yo, we respect
Homie.
your fashion sense,
Not-
but we just can't allow it.
Not now. Not
So
today.
we kicked him out. He's getting some testosterone shots right now. He's coming back, he's building up his testosterone.
He might not get rid of
Those
the
days
pink
are
thobe.
over. Biden is out.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need to come in like this.
He didn't get the memo.
Yeah, so we kicked him out. That's why Turks is not in this episode. It's not because he's busy or he has a life or a family.
What is
No,
that?
no.
What is
he
that?
was wearing a pink thobe.
Exactly. Pass the Kabsa. We're the truth.
Exactly.
Yeah. See how
I think from now on, anytime one of us doesn't make it, we gotta lie. We gotta lie.
Yeah,
What lie? That was the truth. He was wearing
I'm saying,
pink thobe.
I didn't say I was gonna lie. So we gotta lie because
but
the
see,
truth hurts.
The truth is too pink.
Way too big.
Yeah, way too pink.
It's a very weird shade of light pink. I have no idea how he got it.
Salmon pink.
That's actually a great color, by the way.
Yeah, that's not pink.
But Turks trying to push the thobe game is not what we asked for
Was not on our bingo card for today.
at all.
He's always on the edging.
We have like international news. Like everything is calm local, other than this amazing what's the name? Yesterday, Mecca had 3.1 million people
Inshallah.
at one time. That was amazing,
Yeah, this is with the new expansion of the
and it was raining.
which has also been happening here.
Yes,
Thankfully, alhamdulillah.
but did y'all get much rain as we did? We got nonstop rain for like 6 hours.
Anna, for me, that if anything, that tells me that I just live in another city. We just haven't, really defined it as another city yet. East Riyadh is not part of, because everybody else was just not drowning, but everybody else had like good amounts of rainfall. We had drizzles.
Yeah, we had a good amount of rainfall as well. Not as much as you, obviously.
Even though you're not that far away from me.
Yeah,
We had
It's like a 20-minute drive.
20-minute drive.
yeah, we had bougie rain.
No, if you're north of Riyadh, you would be swinging yesterday.
No, alhamdulillah, it's good weather. It's been good weather. Hopefully it's going to last for the next week or so, I guess. Inshallah, until late.
There was a lot of hailstorm. I ran outside and laid down on top of my car.
Did you grab hills?
I was like, nah.
I want to protect you.
Like the whole neighborhood just sees a bald guy just holding on top of his car.
I mean, what a sight. I'm sorry I missed out on that. I wanted to come, but my boat was in repair. Yeah, it didn't work out.
Oh, thank God it didn't get that bad. But man, Riyadh is beautiful when it rains.
It's one of the best times to be in Riyadh, honestly. Like, genuinely, it's like just the city refreshes, just turns to a different shade of less gray.
See, like for us, it's even worse because it's always dusty near my house because there's always construction somewhere. For the last 6 years, I've been having constructions nonstop.
Madik, life is getting better around Riyadh. You don't know it yet, you don't feel it yet, but it's getting there.
Like, oh, we built a new walkway.
Gloomy Riyadh.
No, we're taking away the walkway.
Gloomy Riyadh is actually one of the better times of year to be doing in Riyadh. Like, just enjoy the gloom, enjoy the fresh air.
Like the last 5 years, from November to like March, Riyadh has been amazing weather.
Beautiful weather.
Yeah, and cloudy days.
And now we have the opportunity to actually go and explore, with the sports boulevard opening up and more pedestrian areas opening up, and actually just enjoy the weather within the city, not having to go outside of it.
Yeah, we can lie that we say we're going to do that, even though we won't. But yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Oh, well, شوف, at some point, we will do that. King Salman Park is going to open up. You're going to have a lot more greenery to go and enjoy as well. So you will
King Salman Park, bro, is something
I will do that.
really looking forward to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I will want to go and enjoy all of that.
Yeah, I will go there and performatively read and be pretentious.
Performatively read.
Yes.
Of course you will.
كذا بفرش وطلع الكتاب شوفوني مثقف.
No, you don't have to try to be pretentious, number one. You're already there. Just
No, everybody has to see me be pretentious. You don't get it. Otherwise, it doesn't count.
So, yeah.
I'm like,
Which pose are you going to do when you're reading a book? Are you going to be sitting down on a seat? Are you going to be laying down on the grass?
He's going to be swinging his foot.
sideways?
He's going to be swinging his foot. Yeah.
You know that-
That's how you know he's really into the book.
You know that statue, the thinker?
Yeah. Oh, that's what you're going to do? Yeah. You don't need to show me, sir.
Yeah, we're
I'm-
sorry you missed out on that.
You've heard
you know.
the term visual learning? I'm a visual teacher.
But, I do not believe that your wrist has the strength to carry that head.
Sure.
I just want to give you a heads
Like,
up.
I'm just going to see there. I'm like, wear the most like nerdy glasses and like a blazer and a cardigan. I'm like, I have progressive ideas. Come talk to me.
So did you see the cover?
Yeah, thank you for ignoring that.
Someone, what's the name? I forgot. I think I was on NBC or somewhere. They were talking about King Salman Park. When was the original idea initiated? And it was during King Khalid's days. Allah yarhamah.
Oh, wow. That's a
Wow.
long
Yes.
time ago.
They were
Talking
like,
about good 40 years. At this
when
point.
they went and they showed it to His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed Salman, and they told him, hey, we have this idea, but we couldn't get through because of like different ministries needed different things. And there was a lot of red tape. And he came in and he was like, okay, you know what? No, let's get everybody involved. And I think within a week, they all got approved.
That's
And they
amazing.
just started.
No, and honestly, like as for a city as big as Riyadh, not to have like that huge park is a loss. Like we do enjoy going outside of the city and to the desert, but having an actual green space within the city will genuinely make a lot of people's lives much better. Like just having the opportunity to go and walk around and smell that fresh air.
The whole Green Riyadh initiative, that will make livability here so much better.
It's going to boost the quality of life.
Yes. The temperature, I think, is like projected to go down on average like 6 degrees or something if it goes all according to plan, if I'm not mistaken, or something similar to that.
And it adds a different color to the city. Like as beautiful as Riyadh can be, it's still a city of concrete and sand, a lot of the time. So this having trees, having nature come inside of the city is a transformative evolution of the
And that park
cityscape.
is huge.
It's in the heart of the city. And I think this
It is huge.
yeah. Like there was a whole military airport in the middle that they basically moved and they built the park over there and expanding that region even more. So yeah, I'm really really looking forward to that, inshallah. The metro, see, we're changing, guys. We're changing. We got spaces, we got places.
The infrastructure is infrastructuring.
That's going to be interesting to see if there's going to be a King Salman Park stop. That's not a bus stop.
Tram, maybe a tram, just to make it less invasive, less loud.
I'm sure it's not going to be nothing underground because we've already seen them build it and didn't build anything underground for a subway. So a tram though through the park.
Yeah, and it's much more sustainable than not sustainable, less infrastructure, less invasive. It could be nice actually. It's like a nice stroll in the park.
The whole metro is electric either way. So it's not going to be causing a lot of
Less
electricity.
noise.
I just found out that the metro is driverless, apparently.
Yes. Were you here on this episode when we discussed it?
I don't know. I must have zoned out during that
Yeah.
moment.
Have you not heard of unmanned? Have you not heard of autopilot?
I don't know. I just assumed the guy was like, "Teet, teet."
No, there was no. Okay, first off, no. Okay.
Sorry, toot, toot.
Yeah,
None of those are trains.
we don't have we don't have a guy with a hat. So
Apologies. Kakak.
Okay, then that's dirty yet. Okay. You're going to pull over.
it's actually choo choo. Well, you're out of date.
There you go.
Yeah, it's OG train stuff.
Exactly.
I know.
Shamsi runs trains. That's why.
I know my choo choos, homie.
Me and you, we got this. You said to get it.
No, every time I actually do.
Yes, I know you do.
Of
Of course you do.
Like as a proud uncle,
yeah.
I take my niece and nephew and I put them on my shoulders and we go on a train ride.
Yo, pause.
There's stops in the house, we go.
Oh, that was unfortunate. Adam.
No.
I'm just saying,
I
guys,
can't wait to explain to you what I mean after this episode.
you'll never take trains away from me.
I bet.
Yeah, they're one of the
The
most
train man.
they're one of the most efficient methods of transportation that man has conceived of.
So whenever you you start a train, Shamsi, are you the conductor?
No, I don't start it, right? I just,
You
You
join it.
participate.
I mean, I mean, sometimes you just got to train, you know.
So you're not the conductor.
I'm not the conductor of the train, Adil, yeah.
You're the one who falls in love.
I
Never
feel,
mind.
I feel bad.
I feel we
Like,
connected after this trade. I
I feel like
feel we had something special.
No, I'm just saying, like, I feel as a country, we definitely need a whole lot more trains, you know. Yeah, people,
A whole trains?
like people, a whole lot more trains, you know. More people need to experience the joy of the train.
No, they
rides.
don't. No, they don't, bro. It goes against our beliefs, the trains that you do.
I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I'm talking about the choo-choo type.
That's what it's also called.
Yeah.
First off, I thought it was a gay flag. I was like, Then all of a sudden, it turns out to be a German flag. Still,
Still,
We're not going to go far. Anyway, aside from Shamsi and running a train.
no, we're talking about, you know, greenery and stuff. I don't know how we got here. We went from nature to machine.
Yes, number one. Unlike Shamsi's trains, it is manless.
It's all about the men.
trains.
Chances trades.
Yes, Shamsi's train is all about men.
Well, I'm the one in the train, so obviously.
Exactly. I bet.
Oh,
I am the
yeah,
train.
obviously.
I am the train in this situation.
Like what? Number one, number two, number three, number four, number five. Like where are you at?
I don't know what you're talking about, but saying
Like the train. There's a train, okay? The train. Isn't it like capital?
Usually I like to be in front just to see the view.
So you're number one?
Yeah.
I just told you you're the conductor. You're like, no, I'm not the conductor.
And I'm the guy holding, you know, the glasses. Just seeking the way through.
Hey, yo, Turks, I know you're listening to this. Fuck you, bro. You should have been here,
Yeah,
man.
we miss you. Not really.
No.
Not really.
It's not for that. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows. Anyway, great stories happening
Yeah.
across the globe,
This is
y'all.
where we're starting.
You want to hear something retarded?
What?
Where is it?
My love life.
Oh, wow. Like, you don't have to roast yourself. You don't have
I
to.
saw it, and I took it.
The problem is, it's true.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
It's not wrong.
I'm just gonna.
It's actually
He
true.
was just talking about it just now, and I'm like, wow, that's really sad.
A Swiss man arrested over
pause.
Geneva parcel bomb attacks.
What?
A Swiss man arrested over Geneva parcel bomb attacks.
Okay. What's going on here?
This is from a Swiss website.
Okay.
As you know, your boy is very Swiss today or lately.
Yeah.
So I've been paying attention to the news.
Okay.
And this caught me off guard. The arrest was part of a major police operation led by the Federal Office of Police.
Federal. Okay. I'm glad that the Federal Office of Police is conducting police actions.
And the Cantonal Police, according to a press release from the Office of the Attorney General, the man is strongly suspected of being involved in setting off the improvised explosive devices that injured 2 people in residential buildings in Geneva in 2024. A man was injured by an explosion outside his door in the St. John district in August, while a 12-year-old girl was seriously hurt when a letterbox exploded in George Canal in November. Additionally, a man targeted with a 3D printed pistol.
Is this the same man?
Yes, 3D printed pistol-like device in April, and I don't know where is this location. And the letter bomb was discovered, yada, and so on. Anyway, so the guy turns out to be 61 years old.
Whoa. Okay. A little bit too old to be starting your supervillain origin story.
Yes, sir. And apparently, this had to do with
Chocolate.
people who work in a certain industry in Switzerland.
Okay.
Clocks.
The Swiss, yeah, the watchmakers.
Yes.
The watchmakers. For real? Like
This
that?
is this is what it was tied to. I don't know if it's official yet because I saw this a couple of days ago. I just ignored it after that.
So is this a watch hating man who just
Yes.
wants to blow up people's
Yes, I
wrists?
don't want to be on a waiting list.
Okay. You're kidding me.
Yes,
I don't believe that. Is that actually true?
this was the story.
Adil, was that you?
Nah, son, I'm not. First, I'm not 61 yet.
Two.
Two.
He's got much more efficient methods
I
of
mean,
convincing
This was
compared
March
to
12th. I was here. It was Ramadan.
Yeah,
I was too
I
busy.
mean, Adil is the type of guy who would commit violence to get off a waiting list.
Okay, all right.
But is this the new start of a new wave of crime? What can we even call this? Luxury crime?
What was interesting about this is that when you're looking at Europe today, Europe is in a very unhealthy state. They've been in an unhealthy state for a while, but recently, since January, it's been getting way worse.
Define unhealthy in what sense?
Well, you signed off. We talked about this a couple episodes ago. How the real security deal was, hey, America, you protect us, and we just vibe out.
This was post World War II.
Yeah,
Yes.
and we're not going to do nothing. We're not going to build a huge military army. We're not going to do none of that. We're just going to focus on economics and so on.
That hasn't really worked out the best for them, has it?
Well, When
Recently,
you look at it now, in hindsight,
in hindsight,
it did not work out.
Considering that the U.S. is basically pulling back from the Ukraine support and all that.
And France came out and said, "Oh, the EU is going to start weaponizing now." And they had an emergency meeting. They said, "Hey, we need to build our own military now. We can't rely on the U.S. anymore."
I remember there were some numbers that came out. They were planning on rearming themselves up to the tune of $350 billion. This is as a Europe initiative. And then I remember I also saw something else about Germany saying, "Hey, well, considering that we're the biggest economy, I think we need €1 trillion."
Yeah, you don't want to,
weapons built
you
up.
don't want to heavily arm Germany.
I mean,
History being history, and just like I'm sensing a pattern here.
Well, listen, given the way they were standing by Israel's genocide, I would not want Germany to have all the weapons in the world.
Correct.
very true. And also history has not shown us. In case you're interested in German in German military history, there's a great podcast out there called Koramana that talk about this the different military build-up eras of Germany. Imperial Germany, Koramana. Check it out now.
On their next episode, they're going to talk about Germany and Italy.
Yeah, and how they used to be a team.
Yes.
Yeah,
And now Germany has been beating Italy 5-3 as we speak.
Yeah, and then we were watching it just happen. The slaughter is
It's ongoing.
yeah, it's ongoing.
Oh, the humanity.
Oh, the humanity indeed. But yeah, again,
To German militarization.
so the first part of it is Europe having to realize that, hey, we need to have our own backs and start putting some money into the military, which will mean a huge pullback in the social welfare programs that they have across Europe, because that's when
That's
happened.
already been happening, but at the same time, it's just like, are you familiar with the term austerity?
I mean,
It's basically fuck you, poor people.
and which is basically one of the measures put by the EU post the recession in 2008 to rebalance their economy. That's still going on. True, a lot of European economies are not doing the best right now. Taking into account also the population, the fact that most people are old in Europe nowadays, and they're relying on immigration to have that younger generation.
And they're not happy about the immigration. So
Because-
my point is like, I mean, what do you want? Start making babies, or just you need people to work?
And you don't have either.
Yes.
There's and also there's the difference between the whole idea of European multiculturalism and then opening up the doors of immigration and realizing, hey, there's a lot of people that are going to have different cultures that you guys need to accept. Isn't that what you guys are telling us? And then you say the pushback and the blowback against it by...
Multiculturalism is when I was in your country, not when you're in my country, Shamsi.
We all
No,
remember what happened when Ukraine got attacked the first time.
and not just that. Which time?
Relatively civilized.
Relative civilized, yeah,
Yes.
definitely, yeah. And they see exactly that was the point I was going to make. There's a difference between the multiculturalism of us Aryans and y'all brownies. Like
Delicious.
we can accept our own cultures because they're closer relatively to
Because they're
to
white.
ours. To ours, exactly, yeah. We have a Judeo-Christian heritage that we must uphold. How funny that word is to me. That's one of the funniest words I ever came up with. But there we go. So this basically all leads up to old men bombing people through letters because
I think it's all because I'm white. It's there's no, like, when you look at Germany or France, there's nothing, especially when you look at France, there's nothing has to do with religion whatsoever.
I think they got rid of that 200 years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for them, they don't run by religion.
They had a guillotine.
It's because you're white.
Yeah, they had a guillotine involved in it.
Germany, same thing. So you look at Germany and say, "Oh, we're a very Christian nation."
No, I think I don't know, honestly. I think the one thing I look at Germany and see is, hey, we feel really guilty about the bad shit that we did. Not all of it, just the specific part that had to do with the Jews.
That's one thing that we really feel bad about.
Yeah, like what is genuine? And I'm not trying to be a dick here, but what is the one common denominator between Germans and the modern German state? It is that it's that historical guilt over their roles and the deaths of millions and millions of people.
Their whole foreign policy when it comes to Israel is like, we're good.
Whatever you need.
We good. We're right. We're cool, right?
And obviously, we're talking about France and Germany here because they are the most relevant states in Europe, and they basically set the tone for the rest of the.
They're the EU.
Yeah.
Well, that's when I don't agree with that. Economically, they are the EU, but
Culturally.
none of them. No, every European country has a different culture to it.
True.
They have similarities, but they all function differently.
Basically, they set more or less the policy for the EU because they're the strongest economically.
Exactly. So if we need to go into a world when there's no US support, who's going to lead? None of them can lead culturally. They can lead economically. So what's going to be the new EU? How is the new EU going to feel?
You make the assumption that there will be an E EU.
That's what I'm exactly 100%. In my eyes, the EU has been dying since 2010.
But see, that's the thing. Looking at the modern world, they have no option but to have an EU. And here we're talking about France and Germany, like, you know, manning the castle and making sure nobody slips out. Because
France
hey,
and Germany would benefit not being part of the EU more than being part of the EU,
Correct.
especially Germany.
we see, you look at the UK right now. Do you think do you feel like the UK has been benefiting by exiting the EU?
No, but because they punished it so much when it exited the EU.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, if I'm gonna let you go, I'm not just gonna let you go easy.
And
I'm gonna
the
let
way
you go
they
on
left.
yeah. At the end of the day, you want to deal with me, like you're gonna have to deal with me on my terms. The way they left, in what sense?
They disrespected how they left. They didn't leave saying, hey, okay, listen, we want to... No, they came in as in, yo, like, fuck y'all. We don't want to be a part of y'all. Y'all are pieces of shit anyway. We're the super whites. Get the fuck out of here. And they were very rude. The whole party was very rude. What's the name of that dude that looks like a duck?
Nigel Farage.
There you go. That's the one.
And then I think that's, if we're gonna look at the benefits of the EU in terms of not even maintaining the peace, but in terms of making or building a closer Europe, it has worked in that sense. Like you look at Europe now, you don't have the same. States are not as nationalist as they used to be. You get what I'm
The
saying?
major,
at all.
The
Yeah.
major
Like they've all been subsumed into this beige.
the major benefit of the EU was the freedom of movement and freedom of commerce.
Which is
That-
huge.
Yes, that's the major benefit. And you know what? I am a Spaniard. I'm gonna take this job in Germany and I'm gonna go there.
No, and culturally it also has an effect because you're getting to a point where you live in a country where, hey, it's really normal for me. And it's similar to us in a sense on Khalijian. You know, like for us, it's really normal to see Khalijian out and about because culturally we do have that connection. For them, it became something similar, even though you guys speak a different language. But hey, we're all part of the same EU train, and you can come and I can go, and it's all working for all of us. But
But
now,
it's not working for all of them, though. Italy doesn't have any jobs. Everybody has to leave Italy for a job. Everybody has to leave Spain for a job. Everybody has to leave Greece for a job. So
is that the fault of France and Germany, though? Or we're looking at,
I think it's the fault of the EU overall.
They're setting the policy and they're setting the austerity that is hammering these countries more or less.
And I think this is one of the things where the cultural differences came to fore because you're talking about the difference between Northern European cultures that really value, you know, that have that Protestant ethic and really value hard work, and Mediterranean cultures that take life a little bit easier and they're not as, you know, strict about their work routines, let's say.
When they bailed out Greece, that was basically, okay, we're going to bail you out, Greece, but you're going to be our bitch for a little while.
And there was a threat for Spain to go through that same thing in a sense, Pablo, as well. And yeah, so definitely not having a good time, but let's see how that makes me wave at the sky and just send the bombs and letters. Like that's not sure that's an appropriate reaction, sir, Mr. Swiss man over there.
Oh, well.
He went cuckoo.
What else are you
Like
gonna
the clock.
do?
Speaking of international we were going to talk about it before the podcast, but I told Let's leave it for the podcast because I would just remember something. I was having a conversation with one of the boys about Chinese EV. Did you see what BYD just announced?
No.
They announced a new battery system for their cars
Okay.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
that can charge the car to, I think, 80 to 100% in 5 minutes.
What? 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
How?
It's like going to a gas station.
Literally how? That's a huge jump in efficiency.
Exactly. So the conversation was that
What's the current time rate for full charge? Is it like 4 or 5 hours?
no. If it's a supercharger,
Yeah.
if it has enough wattage and so on, you can get to 80%, I think, like in 15 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that.
25 minutes, okay. Let's say 20. Let's use that as a...
But all depends on, like, there's so many variables. Like, for example, if you're charging a Tesla, right? This happened to like one of my boys in the States. He was like, if the whole lot is full of people charging,
It's going to take more time.
it's gonna take more time.
Yeah.
And If I'm just by myself in the lot, is like I can do it like in 15, 20 minutes. I'll be good.
Okay.
But not, I'm stuck. So my 15-minute charge turns out to be 45-minute charge now. And that takes 45 minutes of my day.
If I have a Lucid, can I plug into the supercharger? It's the same adapter.
I think Tesla, for their superchargers, they just allowed everybody else to use their superchargers.
Okay.
Before it wasn't allowed. There was like, there was a Tesla supercharger. There was something else in the US. I forgot what it's called. I think Great America or something like that. Something great.
Yeah,
something white. But they made the adapters for people to purchase in order for them to use the superchargers and so on so they can to grow the network. But Europe has been moving in that field for a long, long time, right? And they allow Chinese EVs to be sold in Europe.
Okay.
Not in the States.
Okay, so no Chinese EVs are sold in the States.
None whatsoever.
That sucks.
I think they are.
That's mean.
No.
But specifically BYD, isn't there like 100% tariff on them?
BYD was going to open up a factory in Mexico. And then the Chinese government stepped in and said, hey, if you open up a manufacturing facility in Mexico, this will open us to basically people stealing our company secrets.
This is the Chinese government.
This is the Chinese government telling BYD.
Oh, well, very, 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 very foresight of them.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, yo, dog, we did this before.
Yeah, like,
we know this game.
exactly. We know how this is played. This is not the right way.
So right now, in terms of like EVs and EV manufacturing, China has been,
It's been dominant for a while now.
besides dominant, it's been leading in terms of that technology better than anybody else.
This is the technology conversation we're having.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now you look at the US, for example, just relying on Elon Musk when we are in a place right now that Elon Musk is not really important when it comes to electric cars because there are way better players right now in the field. And so...
Didn't they just recall all the Cybertrucks like a few days ago? Because
Yeah, some panels were...
again, all the
Yeah.
Cybertrucks.
Again, Tesla did this 100 times.
Yeah, but so again, just goes to show you the difference between.
So me and you, we were talking about technological advances in military and how the US is going to focus a lot on that. And I told you, I do not know why they're putting so much energy into that when the thing, which is the economy that's important, China's been leading in it.
It's just, I think part of it is, hey, at least we know that we'll always have to maintain an edge. We will always have an edge in one part, but definitely looking at the trend of technology and how China is taking leaps and bounds forward is really like the world is based on economy, and I feel like the world has been based on economy since the end of World War II. Like we came to that agreement, like, hey, listen, our disagreements, let's fight with dollars rather than fight with bullets. And now the funny part is they're losing at their own game.
And
Less than 100 years later.
not only that, what you're looking at right now is that more countries are saying, okay, we need Chinese
Technology.
technology in our countries, right? You still have that, that bullshit that America put on everybody. By the way, if you deal with China, they take your data, as if like the US was not taking our data.
No. What is
Right?
that? Yeah. What is the NSA? What is that?
So
Not a Jeopardy question.
don't go Google that.
Yeah. They'll find out.
So anyway, when you're looking at what China is doing in terms of that, you look at it in terms of economically, the US already lost.
Did it really already lose? Like that's and I question that because you still look at the biggest companies in the globe, and 7 out of 10 are American companies. Like you have your Apple, you have your Amazon, you have your Google.
Yeah, but
like,
how much of that is actual wealth and more just inflated value?
Exactly.
I think good question, but you still at least have
Inflated value.
yeah
All of it is inflated value.
inflated value, but these guys are still pioneering in their own fields and technology as well.
I'll give you an example. NVIDIA. It's $1 trillion company. Like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, it was nowhere near that.
5?
And
You mean 5 or 6 months ago?
sure. But the essence here is what they were known for: graphics cards and just computing stuff. And the whole thing that made them shoot to the moon was like the hype behind AI,
Which is still ongoing.
which is hype. I remember when DeepSeek happened,
Yeah.
they lost, I don't know, 600 billion in market value in a single day.
Because, oh shit, somebody else can do this shit just
Yeah.
as good as we can and maybe
What
better.
does that tell you? Hype. and people were scared, and the hype died down.
Tells me that the stock market isn't real. Tells me that these are all like
In March.
big boy games that we play.
I'm gonna read this to you, right? In March of, let me pick a date, the 27th of April, 2023. One stock in Nvidia was $27.23.
Okay, that's 2 years ago.
Yes. Do you want to know how much it is today?
$23.
$20.
Can I take a wild guess?
Take a wild guess.
1,500.
No.
No.
Sorry. Well, relax.
I have no idea.
No,
bro.
no,
I don't know. I don't do.
You're not stocks.
Yeah,
Then
I'm
don't
not-
take a wild guess then.
Just a wild guess.
117.
That's still incredible.
It went up 345% in 2 years.
You don't think it's worth it though?
Not in any way, shape, or form.
It's worth it if I'm buying low and selling high, obviously.
But as in the company, is it worth that much for what it's doing? No, it's not. But it was the bet of, oh, they're leading in AI. They're bringing us technologies to make AI accessible. So they're like, yo, we go with them. And then China said, oh, by the way,
We're also doing this.
yo, you don't even need that, son. We can do it in a cheaper and a faster way. Check this out.
We have our servers. You just use us.
Adil, what was that Mediterranean version of Chipotle that IPO'd in the US? Remember that?
I don't remember his name. I know what you're talking about.
So there was
An idiot.
there was a Mediterranean version of Chipotle. I think it was called Cava or something like that. Do you know its valuation? How much was it, Shamsi?
No idea.
$1 billion.
Dollars?
Yes,
Not pesos?
yes, $1 billion. And their thing is like, instead of guacamole, we have tzatziki.
Kava Group.
Kava Group, yeah.
Kava
Yes,
Group,
Kava
we got it
Group.
right.
Yes.
And then again,
You know what was the value? What was the rationale behind that? We missed the train on Chipotle. Let's catch this train.
So again, we're going back to the difference between bubbles, let's say, that keep growing up in the West and blowing up, and between the actual progress that we see China making by announcing shit like, yo, you don't even see this in the West.
When you look at products that are made in China, the options that you have,
The prices.
prices aside, because like a really good Chinese car will cost you 200, 300, 400,000 riyal.
But compare that to
Here they bring you the cheap end because they want to make it, I just want it to be accessible for you because I can't get you a Camry anymore for 40,000. So they bring you cheap ones and mid-range ones. But the high-end ones that can compete with international cars, you can buy them, but they are expensive. So that's why I'm not even looking at prices. I'm looking at technologies that you are offering me. The options are crazy compared to the States. Compared to, no. I'm sorry, not compared to the world.
to the world. And they've been on that train and they're still on that train.
Yes.
Yeah.
They offer you everything that you can think of under the sun that you think it will fit you for whatever you're trying to do. You have options. Abroad, you don't have that. We're all with one iPhone or one Samsung Galaxy S9000. And like we're all with the same things. And we're saying, yo, this is the best that technology has to offer. Nah, this is a company that we trust. And we go all run to it and we inflate its price because everyone says it's the best. But
Because
reality,
because they have great ads added.
there's competition. But like big America that's all about freedom and economic freedom and religious freedom and so on, when they saw them attacking the whole technology market and getting better, they're like, oh, no. We can't allow that to happen.
Tariffs.
Exactly. We don't want y'all to buy. So you go and you're not really giving a shit about moving things forward. No, you just care about your inflated prices.
Well, and I think that's part of the difference is the mentality of it all. Like in the global north, it's all about, there's a big emphasis on individual, contributions and, hey, I want to be successful because I want to be successful. There's always that I part. You look at China and you don't see that same amount of the cult of personality being as strong as you do see it, in the West. I think that plays a role there as well. Like there is that recognition that, hey, maybe we're working for a bigger thing here. Maybe society will benefit from this. The government will benefit this, and not just myself as a person. Yes, definitely you'll get paid, but that personality of
Even if you have
being
that
a
personality,
celebrity.
you can do that. Do you know why? Because there's 1 billion people.
no, but
living
who's the
there.
biggest Chinese entrepreneur I know of? It's Jack Ma, and it's the SoftBank guy. Is he Chinese also? SoftBank.
Japanese.
There's Japanese.
He's Japanese.
You racist.
No. I'm just I'm just thinking out loud of the people that
Our agents.
that are Asian billionaires. I don't know. So it's Jack Ma.
It's Jack Ma is the famous one, but he is nowhere near the only one. What are you
And
talking
keep in
about?
mind, unlike the West, China is similar to us. They don't like to advertise their billions.
Okay. There's that difference.
It's a cultural thing.
It's not about not flashing your blink.
Exactly.
You
So
do see it in China.
You see, I'm gonna go
Obviously.
purchase.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy. You're gonna know that I'm rich. But it's not like, hey,
Look at me.
Forbes top 100.
Yeah, that's also a really good point actually. So you're never gonna know how far down the iceberg goes.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Yeah. So how do you stop that? You can't. You can't.
Yeah,
stop it.
exactly. You can't stop it.
Or how do you even catch up? Let's say.
That's for them to find out.
Forget about stopping.
It's for them to find out. But I think the world is, we said this like for the last 5 years, the world is changing, but changes doesn't come in 5, 10 years. It comes every 10, 15, 20 years. So
Cycles.
when you see the next cycle rolling around, cycle already started. Just where are we going to end up?
Yeah. So let's say the 2010s, you had the cycle of social media and taking over the world. I think with the 2020s, what you're seeing is the cycle of AI starting to take over, basically. And where that's going to end up is similar to the difference between Instagram in 2010 and Instagram in 2020. Whole different world, basically. Fun times, guys.
Can I tell you something about AI that I don't think a lot of people are actually paying attention to,
What?
especially ones that are coming from the States?
Do tell.
A digital assistant software is not meant to help you. It's meant to help its owner.
Well,
Capitalism.
I think that argument goes for any free product that when you sign up for a free service, you are the end result. You are the product. You're the thing that's getting sold. All
We
your
are
information, your
living
data.
social media in a new technology. We are the lab rats. We are feeding them information. We are giving them control. We are giving them all the data that they want to build the monster they want to build. And we're just participating for something that we say, oh, it's free. Everybody has access to it. It answers quickly.
Makes my life so much easier. But you can't stop Adil because everybody else around you is doing it. And don't you want your life to be easier? Don't you want things to be faster? And like, listen, I would love to go back to like an old Nokia snake phone. I can't. I just can't, bro. It's the offering is too good.
Back in the day,
The service, the apple is too
it's not
sweet.
the offering is too good.
The apple is too sweet.
You are going to become so lazy that
You're gonna be so dumb.
in the future, you're going to be sitting there, oh, I'm in this top secret project, but I'm just too lazy to do the work. Let me just ask ChatGPT. And then you input sensitive information into it, and you're literally giving out all the data. You're giving out everything. You're teaching one person everything there is to know.
That's true, and I'm pretty sure that has already happened.
That has
different ways.
already happened.
And it's still happening.
And it's happened in more ways than you think.
Yeah.
There's this free game called War Thunder.
Okay.
Yes.
Adam knows it because he knows the vibe.
War Thunder.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a military game. It's basically simulated military battles with the main selling proposition. It's like the vehicles here are authentic and on spec. So these are like classic tanks, like the howitzers, stuff like
Okay,
that.
I can see where this is going.
And this game has forums, and people argued on these forums. And they say, no, this is not accurate. What do you mean it's not accurate? Here, I work in the U.S. Army. Here's the documents about this tank that tell me it's accurate.
No, he actually put up the
Yes.
documents.
Yes.
Yo, this guy's an idiot.
No, this guy's autistic.
It's a cinnamon, sir. That is a cinnamon.
This is where you're at. You're at to the point that you do not even can trust people with sensitive information.
You never could trust people's sensitive information. That's why things were compartmentalized. That's why you have the idea of need to know, because you don't need to know everything. And, sooner or later, not everybody has the same level of reliability.
The idea of leaking the Abrams tank specs to Naruto Goku 420 just to win an argument on the internet is wild to me.
No, I need to win here. And winning means I prove my point that I am right. You know why? Because my little ego is going to get a little bit bigger for a little bit of time. Okay? And I'm going to feel better about that. Yo, people are wild, man.
Yeah, I know.
No, but again, you can't avoid. At some point, I think you're going to end up with
But
oh damn!
you know what that told me?
You're going to end up with something similar to what happened with the messaging apps, where militaries and private institutions are going to create their own chat GPT and say, "Hey, listen, we know you're going to ask someone, okay? So might as well ask this guy whose data we control." Like I see that happening sooner or later. That's going to take a minute, obviously.
Because with Google, that wasn't it. Like Google, you have to go make the website, you have to do everything, and so on and so forth. Now, this is no, you're just, I'm just asking a question, trying to find a shortcut so I can just get things done. It's harmless.
Shuf, yes, that is one part of it, but also the other part of it, like I think of it shwaya in terms of like calculators, right? Like at some point, people are always, or not always, but people were forced to hire mathematicians to come up with the right answers. Calculators took away all of that, but it also allowed you to do so much more. So I think AI is, yes, going to make us dumber in some regards, but I think
What is AI going to do? Make you do much more? Everybody that's using it, they're using it to take shortcuts to get things done faster than what they would usually do.
no,
AI is not really thinking; it's just gathering information, giving you best results. It doesn't mean it's accurate.
now, before with the internet, what I was offered was the sum total of human knowledge, but you had to go look for it. Now I am getting the sum total of human knowledge, and I'm getting spoon fed. So the amount of, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm able to consume more information that will allow me to do more things at a faster rate. If I am so inclined, if I am focused and I actually have a goal and I'm not just trying to, figure out the best recipe for banana bread or whatever,
Well, that's what I'm talking about. There's a difference between the minority and the majority. The majority are answering emails.
Okay. Answer this email for me.
Are making Excel sheets.
See, you're saving me time. You are saving me time. You are allowing me to do more with my time. Probably go watch more Netflix. But, that time productivity element, I think, is a key one when it comes to AI. Yes, maybe we're not using it as the best way possible, just like the internet wasn't used the best way possible when it first came out. Remember GeoCities? Like people spent time and effort on building their websites. Now you have...
Did you sign any guest books on GeoCities, Shamsi?
I'm pretty sure I did. Now you have all of these extensions of our lives that exist in the digital sphere that we can't live without. So I think AI is going to get to that point at some level.
That we can't live without it?
Yeah, can you genuinely live?
Or is it because of it, some companies can live without you?
Both ways. Right now, can you live without being connected to the internet? Can you?
Can I?
Yeah.
I can. Do I want to? That's a different question.
See, a lot of your life relies on the internet, whether it's the business that you do, whether it's the government services that you look for, whether it's the simple actual idea of connection.
That's a totally different question.
That is based on the internet.
If you're talking about my day-to-day, yes, I would need the internet to do my day-to-day.
That's what I'm saying.
Could I survive without it? Yes, I can still conduct my business without having an internet.
Yes.
You have a fax machine?
Have an old phone.
That's what I'm saying. You're just going to make life so much more difficult for yourself is what I'm saying.
And books exist.
But that's a totally different thing because I look at it as new business owners. I know that ChatGPT exists. I know that I can do these 3 people's jobs. I can have one guy do it. So I can just bring someone on board. Listen, I want you to use ChatGPT to help you finish all these tasks.
My prompt engineer.
Promptist.
Yes.
And you're done.
Yeah, promptist.
This
why
way,
need a coder?
I hire less people. You, master in Excel, are no longer important.
Yeah, fuck you, Master in Excel.
Exactly.
I don't need to pay you.
You regular, what's the name, accountant.
So you're looking at it in terms of making people lose their jobs and how is that going to affect the economy and what are all these people going to do? And like even lawyers, like sooner or later, lawyers are going to be redundant because
Never. That's very hard.
At least some types of law.
Maybe in international law.
Yeah.
Not في السعودية. That's wild.
Yeah, again, in different spheres. If we're talking about laws that are based on, codified cases and all of that, common law. But yeah, definitely that's going to happen. That is going to happen. And all these people...
Still not going to replace lawyers.
Yeah.
Still not going to replace.
I hope so, bro.
No,
I hope so.
There's no way it's going to replace lawyers.
Accountants. Yalla, what it is.
Accountants, maybe, yes.
Yeah, what it is. Like people that deal with predictable results, regular inputs and outputs rather than human. What are those people going to do? These people need to go find... They're going to start pick up painting or some shit.
And that's why I'm saying you are feeding a monster. And that monster is going to have an edge on you. and they're going to use that edge on the whole entire world.
Oh,
Ramadan Kareem, everybody.
that is a fun conversation. I'm just trying to think a way out of it, but I think, like, shuf, once upon a time, Union Bell was one of the biggest companies in the world.
Was.
Why? Because it controlled all of the telecommunication lines between countries and between cities and all of that. Most of y'all haven't heard of Union Bell because that shit is not relevant anymore.
Exactly.
You know, that shit hasn't been relevant for the good 20 years. You know what happened the past 20 years? Google became relevant, you know? And I think that cycle is going to keep on happening. Yes, it's going to go big enough for it to really be a monster, just like Apple is a monster today. But 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 26 years ago, Apple was a bankrupt company, bro. Like, you see those cycles happening in front of you, and I imagine those cycles to continue happening. Like, the AI monster of the world is a company that hasn't been born yet. I don't think it's OpenAI. I think OpenAI is similar to Netscape compared to Internet Explorer, you know? It's the first of your kind, you're the biggest, you're the freshest, you seem to be cutting edge, but there's some Chinese homie that's just sitting there waiting and watching, and he's going to be like, hey, look at this. Much better, much cheaper, much more accessible. Much more functional as well.
Hold on to your jobs.
Yeah. Become lawyers.
Or
Yeah.
or buy land.
And do what?
I would
Sell it later at a higher price.
You can't even afford land today.
become a creator.
Creative problems need creative solutions. Yeah.
No, become a creator. You know, create shit that robots can't.
Such as?
Yet. I don't know, like really nice paintings or shit.
I saw a robot today
That does really nice paintings.
that did a whole sculpture.
There we go. See, that's what I'm talking about. That shit. I would buy that. I would buy that.
I know you would buy.
I would buy that.
And the person who used to sculpt things for you and make them.
Fuck that guy.
See, that's exactly what
No,
I'm saying.
honestly, no. Don't
There's
fuck
gonna
that
be
guy.
a guy down the line that I'm gonna tell him, "Yo, Shamsi's going through 1, 2, 3." And I say, "Yo, fuck that guy."
Yeah, honestly, I don't want to say fuck that guy, but I do want a sculpture machine.
A sculpture machine.
I would love a sculpture machine.
There's a
What are
thing
you
called a
talking
3D
This is like
printer.
a 6 feet sculpture.
about? Hey, that's
by
what I'm
the
saying,
way.
bro. No. This guy he's talking about marble.
Yes.
صح? Hey, it's not plastic shit. لا بحطيك chunk, make a castle out of it. So much less effort, so much less time.
The whole thing was like
so
was
much
twisting, it was
cheaper.
bending, it was making it round, bro. It was
You
crazy. to
feed
see.
in the input, you know, you give it the design, it's gonna create it for you. Tell me that's not gonna make a world a better place.
How is it gonna? Hey, let's have more sculptures. What the fuck are you talking
For
about?
cheaper, bro. For cheaper.
Quality
No,
of
not
life.
sculptures. Well, let's have more everything.
It's funny that you say cheaper. How do you think the world is going to be cheaper in the future? How does that make sense in your head?
I know.
That with all this that's happening, the world's going to be cheaper.
The way I look at it, advances. Okay, again, I might be wrong. I guess I'm likely to be wrong. The way I look at it, advances in technology over time drive down price. Scale drive down price. The more computers exist, the less
How
computing.
much is an iPhone?
No, an iPhone is a controlled commodity. Okay, that's happening. You know, by a profit-driven company. Fuck iPhones.
Okay.
You know,
Then give me another example of a phone.
like a lawnmower. You know, like how
A lawnmower is not fucking cheap.
No, but you know, there are cheap lawnmowers. Are there not?
First, it's called a lawnmower,
Eh,
not lawnmowers.
like cars. Okay, the Chinese came up with a way to build really cheap cars.
No, they didn't come up with a way to build really cheap cars. They took old cars with old technology from the 80s and started with them.
Okay.
That's what they did.
Yeah, but I'm talking about today.
So they were giving you old technology in today's money.
Oh, really? That's what's happening right now?
That's exactly how they started the whole manufacturing sector.
Okay.
It's not like they went and invented a new engine.
Well, I'm just kidding. The argument is cars used to be cheaper back in the day.
That's something that doesn't make sense what you're talking
Buy a
about.
car for $200.
You can buy a home for $1,200.
Shamsi
Yeah.
discovers inflation.
Yeah, it kills me. Like,
No,
oh man, the
I-
more people, the more involved.
No, but I'm sure there are other industries. Let's say farming. For
Netherlands got a
example.
penalty, by the way.
Nice.
They can tie this up.
Farming, for example, that nowadays much more cheaper and efficient and
Yeah, because fruits and vegetables are so cheap right now.
No.
Go see how much is a box of strawberries.
I don't eat strawberries.
It's not about what you eat, Shamsi. It's about how much the prices are.
No, but Sina, there's a difference between technology being able to make life easier and people who control economies who handle supply and demand. Those are two different things.
I'll tell you what the excuse is. The excuse is,
Nice.
ooh, nice goal. So the excuse is yeah, we need this new technology so we can make things cheaper. And then when these technologies come around and they start working, oh shit, they need repairs and maintenance and has a lot of cost on it.
That's where the accountant is going to.
ما له دخل accountant. This is the machine that you're
It's going
getting.
to be a sculpture machine.
So
repair,
now
man.
I have all these machines that require a lot of money to keep them operating throughout the whole year. Yes, I will have more crops ready. I will have more fruits and vegetables, but I need to sell more because it costs me a lot to run this machine.
In addition to discovering inflation,
So the monster of capitalism. So the monster of capitalism. We're talking about this is the birth of the monster of
It's not the
capitalism.
birth of the monster.
Shamsi discovers economies of scale.
Exactly. This is how basically economies function, sir. It doesn't get cheaper.
I do believe.
No labor doesn't mean it's cheap.
What I do believe is this: economics are just things that man made up. You know, you can change it. You can make up other things, just like we've been doing for the past 1 year.
Changing it causes you a lot of problems and makes you default on everything. Hence Greece.
Hence Greece.
يعني so they are like
والله قاعدين على
actual
البحر يا ابو عدول الجماعه مروقين you know
logo.
Yeah, I know.
في Athens.
عندهم تماثيل زينه you know بتروح تصيف هناك بترجع بتغير جو you know so things are not as bad as you think they are you know.
Things are really, really bad if you talk to people who live in Europe.
Yes. It's hard outside, Shamsi.
Try to have a conversation with anyone who lives in Italy. And then you come out with a different idea.
Yeah,
When someone tells you, I have to leave my home to
order
find
to get a
a
job.
regular job, not to find an outstanding job, to find a regular job.
Something that could keep
And
you
you're
living.
like, oh, y'all are the EU. Like, y'all are going through this?
Talk to somebody outside of London in the UK. They're kind of going through it.
Yeah, it's not gonna be fun. That's not even the EU anymore. It's not even the EU anymore.
So, yeah. Hard times are afoot.
Purchase sculpture making machines. You know?
Go into economic debt.
I'm just saying, you know.
Everybody's doing it.
Let the robots control
It's the hot
everything.
new trend.
That's actually a conversation that the boys had a while ago. Like almost like all the boys have loans. Almost all the boys. They have some sort of loan for something.
Yeah, it's called the modern world, unfortunately, Adel. We need to live and pay for shit. One way, shape, or form, unfortunately. Wham, wham, wham.
Oh, well. I guess we'll have to live and see. We're all going to suffer together anyway. You want to talk about the pyramids before we bounce? The new discoveries they found in the pyramids?
What did they discover? There's more pyramids?
No.
The aliens. They discovered the aliens.
They used this new radar, right?
Technology.
Of course, it's called SAR. I forgot.
Sonar scope.
It's like similar between sonar and LiDAR. It's a whole new technology. The idea is it can read things in hard to reach places, right?
Yeah.
Can it read my heart?
No, the fuck again. That's a whole.
So basically, they scanned the pyramids.
The middle pyramid, they scammed it.
The big one.
No.
Wasn't the
It was-
Great
no,
Pyramid?
It was the middle one.
Okay, and they realized, hey, wait a minute, there's a whole lot of structures that we are completely unaware of that exist under this pyramid.
So they did find more pyramid.
Yes.
No.
So they found 5 chambers inside the pyramid that didn't even know existed. And then they found 8 pillars going almost 2 kilometers under the pyramids.
Awamid, basically. SSat.
2 kilometers.
Yes, sir.
That's a long distance.
That's
Yes.
a really long
And there's
distance.
a base of 80 meters squared by 80 meters squared at the bottom. So they don't know if the pyramids are connected or what's going on. It has this wire around it. They don't know if it's a stair. They don't know if it's these pipes are a well. Like it was 2 Italian scientists or
might be-
archaeologists or whatever they want to call them.
Mario and Luigi.
Mario and Luigi. And they're supposed to have the press conference this week. It's like a 4-hour press conference.
It
but they
might be a
haven't yet.
really big screw, you know?
You waited this long to cut me off just to give me this stupid joke.
You know, I'm just saying, you know. The interesting thing
You make a point, even though it's dumb.
You
No,
know,
shut up. You didn't know what I'm talking about. Shut up.
No, شيء ثبته. Like, how am I holding this thing together?
بحط مسمار في الرمل.
SSat. This is how our houses are built, sir. You know, you go down the ground. No, but it if anything, it just expands on how incredible it is that these structures were built 3,000, 4,000 years ago.
I was telling Jay the other day, Fir'aun was not mentioned in the Quran out of nothing.
You know, and like,
My question is, what they're gonna find at the base of this?
Well, I think Egypt came out and they were like, yo, it's a bunch of bullshit. Because apparently they did this without any permits because they didn't need permits because they were not working inside the pyramids. They're working outside. So they said to, I don't know which department in the government of Egypt, like, give us a year. if you give us access in a full year, we don't need to Germany do nothing. We'll be able to give you guys better data.
You know, a full year is a long time to wait, honestly, for an answer to a question like that.
A year is nothing, bro.
So again, it's a testament to how incredibly sophisticated, you know, the ancients were, and honestly, I think it doesn't prove, but it supports the theory that there's a lot of lost technology that we're not aware of. You know, there's a lot of lost knowledge that, you know, people in much simpler times were able to execute these magnificent feats, you know, and we still don't understand why or how.
What are they gonna find down there? That's the question. Michael Jackson.
Okay, no. We already know where he is.
A whole lot of mummies.
So you think, Adil? That's what they want you to think.
I remember the time.
Tupac?
No, you idiot. That was Michael Jackson.
God damn it,
my
Shamsi,
God, you're so stupid.
End this fucking episode.
I'm just thinking.
Anyway, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. We out. We good?
We're good.
Peace. Damn, bro.
Like, I was